Alright, so we're back at the 2021 project. We got DPs are approved now. DSSP should probably be approved next week. It was actually supposed to be yesterday, but no word on that one yet. We've got the building permit is getting submitted next week. We're going to do that a little bit in advance of the DSSP being approved, just because we think they're going to, timelines will line up by the time the city looks at them. DSSP should be approved. Flat lot, we don't see any issues with it. We've got schedules are all built. So far we're looking at a November start for this. It might be a little earlier depending on how fast the BP goes ahead. But the new addition to the project schedule is this one here. So we decided that we're going to take on one more project. This one here is for this guy. So he's going to build one right next to us. We're going to manage that project for him. And this here is the cleaned up lot. I mean, it's about as clean as you can get before backfilling everything. A little bit more concrete left to go, but we're going to leave that for the big excavator. One of the bigger things that you're going to see here is next door. This week we're going to get rid of all the trees, the foliage, and potentially knock down this tree house thing that's in the back. We'll go and have a quick look at it. The weather's good, so we kind of want to take advantage of that, get rid of the foliage right now before it gets too cold. And we've got this tree house, kind of a unique thing. This owner here on this project, this one's 2017, they had built this house originally. So it was actually her dad had built the house. The bricks that were used to do the foundation are actual red brick. And they came from a firehouse that was torn down somewhere in Calgary at some point back in at least the 50s. I think this house was 58 was the construction on it, 57, 58. So sometime before that they'd built it. But what we're going to do is, because the entire foundation is red brick, what we're going to try to do anyway is salvage as much of that foundation brick as possible, stack it up on some pallets, and try to utilize it on the frontage of the house. So that, whether it's red brick or maybe it's just the address sign, we're going to see what that looks like architecturally, and take that just to kind of bring that heritage through. Also with the addition that it wasn't just the homeowner that had sold us the house, and we want to kind of honor that, but because those bricks actually came from a salvage building as well, it being a fire hall is kind of an interesting plus. So this one's going to come down, we're expecting probably in January. This one here, we're going to expect to start probably early November, late October at the best. And this one here is going to take 204 days by calculation, at least for the completion of Unit 1. We've got the 4 units in there. They should be staggered by roughly 2 weeks each, just based on trade allocation. But I'm expecting that these things here are going to be renting in June of next year. So that'll put us into the end of Q2, and that'll put 8 units online. And then this one here is going to be another 8 units. The difference between the two is that this one here is actually a 2 and 2 setup, so you got kind of a missing middle in between. So it's essentially a duplex in the front and then a duplex in the back. This one here is going to be almost apartment style, where you've got just one solid block, and it's split into 4 different units. So you got your center staircase columns all around the center. So it's going to be good. I think we're going to leave the fence up for the time being, just because we've got the neighbors and stuff like that. We don't want it to look too apparent at this time that this house is vacant. Power's off, water goes off on Monday. ATCO takes a long time right now, so we've submitted for that. When we see the ATCO truck come out, is probably going to be in about a month and a half to 2 months. After that, the demolition permit's complete, we can tear that one down. This unit here, because ATCO's so far behind on hookups, I've actually submitted this one here already now into the queue to get the gas hooked up, with a potential date of mid-November. I said mid-November, assuming that maybe that's the earliest we could have the foundation complete, but the expectations, it's actually probably going to be mid-December, but we can alter those. At least if it's in the queue, then we're good to go. Just as an example of how far back ATCO is currently, this one here, just to look at the file, just to give me an invoice for the disconnect, we were 304 in line. So that's quite the backup. That's the same problem across the city, doesn't matter who's doing it. I also build new homes. The new homes are a little bit easier because all the services are in. They're just coming through doing a connection. They use a sub crew to do all those connections, but I believe ATCO is actually the one that comes out, hydrovacs the alley, and pinches the line. So We got good movement. We're really happy. We had a lot of successes. These last couple of months been pretty difficult, just hurrying up to wait. But now we're here. Now the DP being approved puts us into that position where it set a whole bunch of other things in motion, like the continuation of the CMHC financing. CMHC financing was not easy to get. They fought back a little bit on lots. This one here specifically was split, saying it's lot 9 and 10 under one title. They wanted us to combine those. We asked for a review of that, but in the meantime we paid the $1,000 resurveyed, combined them anyways, just because it was prudent that we got the financing as quickly as possible. So $1,000 insurance policy if they came back and said, no, we actually want you to combine those. So now they're combined. I can't remember if it's 9 or 10 or whatever they did in there. We've got addressing back for here as well. So the way that they strike these, because the building is one in the front and one in the back, is 101, 102, 101R, 102R, 201, 201R, 202, 202R. So that gives us our 4 suites there. And essentially now that we have the addressing, we get separate building permits for every single building, all that kind of stuff. So it's neat. CMHC being approved. Now we're going for construction financing for the lenders. That's done through the same guys. What we expect there is that we'll probably get a 6% rate on construction. We get our first draw, which essentially pays us a majority of the lot cost back and planning and development costs. And then the plan is to roll that funding right back into another project. So we'll be looking for another 50 by 120 lot. Well, right now we're already shopping. We've talked to both the neighbors. Sounds like neither of them are really interested in selling at this point, so it might just be the 2 here. But we're sitting in that $450 price range. I don't care if it's a lot, if it's a tear down. I don't even care if I can see inside the house. Doesn't matter at all. But that's where we're looking at getting, is to move on to that next project, because we want to make sure that we have 2 of these completed for next year, which means I got to jump on it. One of the other strategies we're working on right now is actually finding people that have already had their DPs submitted and approved, and that way we can just take over that project right off the bat, and then just have to go through the DSSP and the BP phase, and that saves us roughly 4 months, and that just boosts us right to the front of the line for CMHC as well. Basically puts us into a position where we could start a construction on that secondary project almost immediately. We'd be looking at like maybe a 2 to 3 month lag instead of this one here. What are we going into? We purchased in February, started all the paperwork and things like that back in January for planning and development. And so that puts us now into about 9 months, roughly 9 months now. 1 more month until we start excavating. So it's a 10-month turnaround from kind of the inception of it into actual excavation. Add another 6 months to 7 months on there for construction. That puts us at call it 16, 17 months, something like that in total, from the initial thought until we actually have rental units up for sale. So anyway, that's the update on the project. We'll start seeing some work going on here pretty quick, and I'll keep you updated. But now we've got 2 projects on the go, looking for number 3. Take care, guys.